So because of my RVC controller died, so I decided to find a new venue to get my CarPlay and backup cameras working. And it's actually working with a $7 switch box, which is very nice. And if I knew then, I wouldn't buy the RVC controller and the gateway upgrade. Well, it's sunny in California, so it's kind of hard to shoot a video, but it just shows that functionally it's working. Now we put it in reverse and the backup camera will go back automatically, and then when we put it to forward driving, it goes back to CarPlay. So let me explain this one. The output of the video here go into the F bus inside here, okay? Right below there, into the head unit. This input video and this input video too. So you look in here, I have two of the 10X Mini connected to AV1 and AV2 of the TV tuner. So look at the screen here. So I'm going to switch it to 1. So whatever the video appear on the F bus, it will always be there. So it doesn't matter. So that's the difference between when you have, okay, the RVC module. The RVC module is the one that internally controlled by the CAN bus, and they mux from the video of tuner and the video of the camera into the F bus. The muxing is including the audio, but this way we have to select the audio separately, because whatever appear on the F bus will be on the screen. So whatever, video 1 or video 2 or whatever, camera or not. To AV2, if I play the music, it won't play. It's because the sound is on the AV2, it's not on AV1. So we have to change it to AV1, then we can hear the sound. Does it make sense? Anyhow, so I plugged in the USB touch screen and everything, now it came up. Okay, so this is a 12 volts relay. I got it from Amazon for $1.03 a piece, $13 for 10. These two are initially shorted. When you energize 12 volts across here, this one will flip up, and then this one and this one will short to each other. So what we want to do is this. We want the first one, the initial one shorted, these two will connect AV1 on the switch, which is the CarPlay. So the CarPlay is always on, or the TV tuner, whatever. When we apply the 12 volts from the backup light, when we put in reverse, this one will flip to connect AV2 on the switch, so the camera will show up instead of the CarPlay. So when we put back to drive, the 12 volt disappear from the backup light, then they go back to our CarPlay or TV tuner. Alright, that's very simple. Now I'm not doing the front camera, so I'm gonna switch to the AV3, which has the AV1, AV2 open. Okay, if we're gonna do the front camera, we have to remove the switch, which I don't want to do it right now. So in the back there's a 4 screw. If we open this up, remove all the screws, we should be able to lift it out and see the circuit inside. So when we switch to number 3, which means input 1 and input 2 are open. So we're going to switch to permanently to number 3, and then we're going to use input 1 and input 2. Input 1 we're going to use for the TV tuner, and input 2 we're going to use for the backup camera to switch. Okay, so this one here is video 2, and it's going to go to this one, which is open normally, and video 2 is going to be the backup camera. This one is the main one, the output, which is here. And this one here is a TV tuner or CarPlay. It will go here, which is permanently, by default, is short. So when we turn on 12 volts here, this one will switch from the main, the output, to the input of the camera. So just verify, make sure it works, and we're in business. Now, we need to do it to get these 2 wires out of the box so we can connect to the backup light of the car, 12 volts. So now we're going to put this relay in the case, and just the 2 wires for the 12 volts and ground going out. So we can fit everything and then align these 4, and we can put the cap back on. Okay, so it's all done. I actually made a mistake when I soldered. Actually, I would solder number 3 instead of number 1. So now we'll switch everything to number 1. Number 3 will be shorted. And then we put the 12 volts. Number 2 is always, the camera is open. And then when we energize it, it's going to short. Okay, so number 3 is the TV tuner or the CarPlay. Default is shorted. Okay, so now we apply 12 volts. It should go to input 2. There you go. And then input 3, which is the TV tuner, is open. So it works. By the way, it doesn't matter. The 12 volts has no polarity. Okay, so the first thing we want to do to add a backup camera onto this Audi A8 or any other MMI 2G is that you need to get one of these. I think it's like $57, and this one is made for Audi A6, but it does fit on the A8. All we need to do is to change the to put the lock in here by removing it and put it back in. The camera is already mounted, and we need to buy the we can use the original, but we use the license plate LED. These are really bright. So what we need to do is to remove this first to get inside here. Okay. So we removed the toolbox already. That's easy. And this one right here we need to remove. And there's 2 screws in here that we need to remove also. And take off this. So this one here is a T25. So we just slide this one out and just unsnap all around here. So undo this one. So on the original key, we need to undo the 10 millimeter and actually turn this one, and then we can move it out. Disconnect these, lock, and make sure we're going to do the wiring in there also. And it fit quite well. So make sure you get this one here, this one here, and this one here. So this is for the camera. So we need to run the wire through this. If you don't have it before, we have to buy one of these. And it's going to go down in here. So you go down inside. So I run the cable all the way through here. Yeah, it'll need a little work, but you can add the backup camera very easily. The important thing is we have to get the backup camera, the backlight, 12 volts, to go all the way down here, because we're going to use that to switch from the TV tuner video to the backup camera whenever we put in reverse. So the connector for the backup camera is in the back here, so we can undo it and take it out. So this is a power connector for the backup light. We're going to splice the 12 volts where it's energized, where it's put in reverse. So the purple and blue is a 12 volts whenever to turn on the backup light. So we're going to splice the power there. That one is going to go into the backup camera. But if we want to switch to the backup camera when we're driving, we need to connect this one, the backup camera, to the ACC 12 volts. And we use this one to switch the input only on the switch box. Okay? So it's up to you. You have to prepare it up front. So if you want to see the back when driving, but I don't know why we should do that. We can use the camera with the recording. So the best cable to use is the one bundle with many wires inside, like a Ethernet cable or any of the cable that we use that has many wires bundled into it. So this one, I still have the orange, the yellow, and the blue that I don't use. So I'm going to take another 12 volts from here to one of these wires. So the brown is always ground. So we're going to splice out the ground and the red. So 12 volts on the backup light, and the black one is for the ground, and the red one is a 12 volts. So make sure we tape everything well, and then we can plug it back in. So before we button up everything, we have to test and make sure that it works first. So now let's go to the other side. Now we look here, my red one, this one will go into the switch box. So as we rewire the relay inside, the camera input is going to go to input 2, and the TV tuner is going to go to input 3, and the switch is always to number 1, so these two are open right now. So this one constantly connected. So the wiring is here. Now we're going to test. So the output here is going to go into the F bus. That's the wire, go to the F bus. So now we're going to test and see if it's going to switch the camera or not. Okay, so the CarPlay is showing. By default, you only see the camera when we put in reverse. There you go. We see the sky now because it's pointing up.